Zylicki, директор по разработке Wargaming.
Please welcome Max Zylicki. Web for Games is the name of his presentation. He will tell us about the experience of wargaming on creating ecosystems around the game. Hello everybody, welcome to 4C conference. Friday evening is a wonderful time for a lecture and a wonderful time for after party. Actually, it's exciting to share the experience of wargaming and the experience of many teams and people accumulated together. So, beginning from myself, my name is Maxim Zylicki. I am development director at Wargaming, and I'm heading one of the platform areas as well. I'll tell you more about what the platform is. The platform is where we develop key services for games, such as distribution, monetization, player support. These are mainly the web services. Today I would like to tell you a story about our track record at Wargaming, about the challenges that we faced, about how we gained new knowledge, and I will try to share this knowledge with all of you today. First of all, in the recent 2 years at Wargaming, I've been playing the role of customization manager for the World of Tanks game, the flagship title we have. Customization means customizing services. Now, to be more specific, I'd like to tell you about the platform and why customization team has been set up, actually. The majority think that for game success we need to implement a cool idea, but in majority of cases the concept behind the game is always somewhere in the background, somewhere behind. Although it's one of the core components, one of the core elements of the game, it helps the game make this leap, quality leap, and become an existent title. We, at Wargaming, we design multiplayer games, and online is a key element of these games. Online means a lot of functionality, a lot of features that make this game an online game, and without those features the game cannot exist. If we take World of Tanks example, just for players to proceed through the introductory journey, there are dedicated services that help implement this, and I'd like to show you some visual examples for you to better understand what I'm talking about. The system of signing up is also a dedicated mechanism that helps integrate them with all customer services. Any player can sign up and then proceed with the gaming. Launchers and update services are the services that are used for people to access updates. Tank Portal is where the player can access the game and can access all services provided by the game itself. The example of a tournament is another functionality where we can organize tournaments. It's a kind of cyber sport, a new trend. Users spend time on that, and the system that is implementing this engine is a complex mechanism. They are Bayesian services that operate in the backdoor mode. They create and set up tournaments and competitions, process information. We also have some tools for applying and application to our publishers, and also some interfaces for user interaction. Store is another premium shop, is another function where you can buy game entities like tanks and others. There are more interesting examples. For example, the global map, where gamers can unite in dedicated groups and cooperate and also to compete with each other. Strongholds or tank farms. Strongholds are an example of services or web products that are represented in the client game and can be operated, can be run through the in-game browser. Reference, my name is Mikhail, but this is Ilya Komsa, my colleague. He is the author of the new generation of browser games. He's a web developer. You can find him and you can talk to him. He will share with you a lot of interesting information if you want to. Now, there is a game. We have various services around this game. All these services help the game. It's not possible to use the game, and the game just cannot live without those services. Some of them are responsible for various business targets, and they create the final value for the product. For the game to reach all the goals, it needs to interact with many teams of those developing those services. It needs to set up work with these guys, with these teams, and in the process of evolving the game, services were also growing. Services became more numerous. At the moment, we have about over 100 of them. These services range from smaller BCN services, backup services that we interact with, or the game interacts with them, or directly with systems which interact with the users. As for web services, any such service has its own team of developers. A single team can be responsible for several functions, for several services. They have their own managers, and they were grouped business-wise, and the business value has been estimated for the game, provided by these services.
Моя экосистема веб-сервисов для игры постоянно усложнялась, в том числе как и логика их работы. При этом игра продолжала развиваться в своем направлении. Игровая команда, в сущности, делала то, что они должны делать. Да, они делали игру. С развитием игры и с развитием экосистемы веб-сервисов взаимодействие между ними усложнялось. Игре в какой-то момент времени приходилось взаимодействовать все с большим количеством разработчиков, менеджеров, сервисов и так далее. То есть усложнялся, в принципе, процесс производства, планирования фич, разработки, релизов и оперирования. Это достаточно сложная штука получалась. Ну вот прямо сейчас слайд на экране, в принципе, показывает схему работы игры с веб-сервисами World of Tanks, довольно-таки так схематично и примерно. Это достаточно неплохо работало поначалу, то есть там лет 7, 5, 4, может быть, назад. Но в конечном итоге с увеличением потребностей эта схема, игры я имею в виду, эта схема стала работать хуже с точки зрения эффективности. После танков, как известно, начали появляться другие игры. При этом подход, который мы применяли, он оставался примерно тем же. То есть у нас появились корабли работали точно так же со всем этим набором сервисов, которые есть. При этом добавлялась, допустим, сложность того, что разработка всех этих сервисов в основном находится в Минске, при этом разработка игры находится в Санкт-Петербурге. Блицы, как новая, фактически тогда первая мобильная игра от Wargaming, которая тоже накладывала свои требования и особенности на разработку вот этих сервисов. Самолеты, первая, Master of Orion. В конечном итоге с ростом количества игровых продуктов достигался некий предел, наверное, когда запуск новой игры с такими командами в подобной схеме рассматривался уже скорее как следующий кранч-кошмар, чем радостное событие. То есть эта схема, в принципе, была не масштабируемой. То есть какие бы команды не были мотивированные, как бы они не хотели действительно запустить новую игру или выпустить что-то важное в рамках Wargaming, это было очень сложно. И все понимали, что у нас будет новый продукт, новая игра, но мы все понимаем, как это будет выглядеть. Ну и фактически, да, вот эта вся схема при такой работе, она ведет к неконтролируемому процессу производства и, в принципе, хаосу. И, то есть всем играм в данный момент нужно одинаковое и разное одновременно. Каждой игре нужно что-то прямо сейчас или лучше вчера. Вот. При этом какие-то приоритеты расставить между играми в принципе невозможно. Небольшой рекап того, то есть какие-то проблемы были. Да? Это отсутствие масштабируемости. Вот, подключение оперирования новой игры становится все более сложным. Это отсутствие приоритизации, то есть огромное количество стейкхолдеров веб-сервисов сразу одновременно. И планирование сделать крайне сложно или невозможно. Это отсутствие прозрачности. Подключение новых игр становилось все сложнее и сложнее. Как сделать это правильно и легко в текущей схеме практически непонятно, нереально как сделать. Это сложные коммуникации. Порой, чтобы сделать что-то, какую-то фичу при такой схеме, нужно было вовлекать там 5 или 7 менеджеров, а когда дело доходило до разработчиков, команда, в принципе, разрасталась до неуправляемой. Это отсутствие гибкости на какие-то изменения. То есть, грубо говоря, когда в этих сервисах начинали происходить какие-то изменения, для того, чтобы игры могли их поддержать, это тоже было обратное планирование, координация, достаточно сложный процесс. И, собственно, отсутствие фокуса на результат, когда вы делаете какой-то продукт, сервис, при этом у вас огромное количество стейкхолдеров, приоритеты между ними одинаковые, вы, в принципе, не можете сфокусироваться на одном чем-то важном, и это влияет на качество того, что вы делаете. На бизнес, в принципе, это аффектовало следующим образом. То есть это затягивание сроков разработки, в первую очередь. Для игр, для конечных продуктов это очень важно. Если вы не успеваете что-то сделать, это влияет на конечный продукт, и в итоге где-то происходит фейл. Это влияние на качество. Если вы все-таки вкладываете в сроки, скорее всего, вы чем-то жертвуете. Вот. И игра что-то недополучает, или сервис не получается не того качества, который нужен. Это no decisions. В данном случае я имел в виду эффект, когда большое количество стейкхолдеров и, в принципе, невозможность или затягивание в принятии решений, когда многие крутые, интересные идеи, которые игре действительно нужны, решения по ним, о том, что их нужно запускать в разработку, о том, какие они должны быть, они, в принципе, очень долго принимаются. И в этом случае это опять упущенные возможности для игры, и для конечного продукта, и для бизнеса. И риск, собственно, для новых продуктов. То есть есть крутая идея запустить какую-то новую игрушку, при этом мы понимаем, что вывести ее онлайн, подключить к нашей экосистеме веб-сервисов Wargaming, это будет достаточно сложно. Для того, чтобы решить те проблемы, нам, по сути, нужно было вернуть фокус, потому что он, как я говорил, был на начальном этапе 7 лет назад, когда веб-сервисы появлялись, когда у нас была одна игра. Это неплохо работало, естественно, и нам этот фокус нужно было вернуть. Для того, чтобы это сделать, в веб-департаменте мы, по сути, сделали команду, которая начала заниматься только вопросами какой-то конкретной игры. И если цель игры – это сделать игроков счастливыми, то цель данной конкретной команды – это сделать игру счастливой, чтобы она как-то была удовлетворена как минимум теми решениями, которые веб нам предоставляет. Что значит сделать игру счастливой? В первую очередь это значит выстроить удобные и прозрачные процессы взаимодействия с набором сервисов, с вебом, по сути, да, и постоянно обеспечивать своевременную доставку качественных решений. Запускать новые фичи, ценные для бизнеса и так далее, и так далее. Кроме того, те решения, если смотреть с точки зрения ценности для всей компании, те решения, которые мы создаем для какой-то конкретной игры, тот опыт, который мы получаем, он должен переиспользоваться. То есть мы не должны каждый раз изобретать колесо. Такие команды на самом деле были созданы не только для World of Tanks, они были созданы для практически всех игр Wargaming. Это World of Warships, World of Tanks Blitz и World of Warplanes. Как же это работает? На схеме выглядит все достаточно просто. Вроде как поместили кого-то одного, теперь он там за все отвечает. Давайте посмотрим, как это было. Следуя этой новой парадигме, когда мы начинали эту трансформацию, нам фактически нужно было ответить на 3 главных вопроса. Вопрос первый, что мы что мы в действительности должны делать. То есть есть очень много запросов от игр, а что мы должны делать для данной конкретной игры. Второй вопрос, как мы должны это делать, чтобы тех проблем, которые у нас есть, которые накопились, больше не было. И третий вопрос, кто вообще должен делать, то есть какая для этого нужна команда. Для того, чтобы что-то сделать, а особенно сделать это хорошо, очень важно иметь понятные прозрачные цели и скоуп на какой-то конкретный период. Поэтому первое, что мы начали делать, это сформировать некий initial roadmap того, что нужно там для конкретной игры, в данном случае для World of Tanks. Мы фактически проанализировали то, что сейчас находится в работе, что планируется в ближайшее время в самой игре, в рамках патчей и в рамках так называемых кросс-игровых сервисов, платформенных сервисов на более долгий период. И, собственно, получили первую версию того, что команда кастомизации должна делать. Здесь был очень интересный момент. То есть, с одной стороны, мы получили очень понятную структуру работ и понятный скоп и так далее. Но при этом была найдена очень интересная особенность. Первое, в рамках этого скопа было очень четко понятно, что есть некоторые вещи, которые нужны только этой конкретной игре. Они не нужны больше ни World of...
They didn't exist in any of the games, World of Warships, World of Tanks, and others. So secondly, what we identified is that there are cross-gaming services with which we interact, and from these services, tuning these services is also possible. And it's possible to integrate services for these games, and this work needs to be done by somebody. As a result, we have the split of work. So to be efficient, we started using a number of features, and we classified our features and how to implement them. So the first type of features are the implement features, as we call them. It's the full cycle of feature web product development, including pre-production, production, and live operation. The customization team was the special force that did the whole work from start to end at the same time. If we lacked something from these features, we could use some cross-platform services, and we can implement them for cross-platform services, and they actually were efficient. On the one hand, for that we needed expertise of the team. On the other hand, there were additional requirements to processes of interacting among teams at different stages of development. So these are the challenges and problems that we faced and that we overcame. The next type of features is the coordinate features. All project milestones were controlled by the customization team. That is to say that a feature could be developed by a cross-gaming team, and there could be some key milestones. If anything went wrong, the customization team could weigh in, could connect and deliver the feature and finish delivering the feature. The third type of features is the inform features. So in this feature, the web team monitored the operation of other features, and it communicated with the game itself on the operation of the features. To run all this scheme, we used a dedicated roadmap. We classified the features and we arranged with one another, among us, to set up a committee that involved 3 people. It involved the publishing director, the game director, and the customization manager on web. On a regular basis, we met together, updated the world map, we looked at the features, we removed those features we didn't like and we didn't want to have, and did other things. We had the following framework. The first phase, which we implemented, and this actually was the key phase implemented by the steering, is the validation phase. The validation of the functionality of the game on the web. Within this phase, within this stage, we were leading. We were leading the process. We planned the dates of implementing these or that features, and we prioritized the process. Then we had the pre-production phase, which is a classic phase, but it's actually the most large, the vast phase that we have. In this phase, we defined what the game needed to do, and the last phase is the development phase, which is the most simple, the most basic, which just involved routine work. And then the last phase is the live operation, which involved the launch of the feature, of the valued feature that we developed, and ensuring reliability of its operation and its efficiency. As a result, we had such a framework which was quite logic. It operated efficiently, and we didn't have major problems with that, but to instill life to all of that, we need the team, actually, basically. It was the third component for that. The team needed to provide a full development cycle, and it should be a team of special force that could be able to operate and to interact with other teams as well. The principle of setting up the team was clearly defined at the GDC conference, which took place in March in San Francisco. The GDC Shell conference formulated the principle that your team's top priority is making the game great. Your top priority is making the team great. So the idea was formulated by Jesse Shell. Speaking about cross-functional team, or the team of full-cycle development. That means that all roles are available within the team to provide the feature, and the team has all needed resources, all necessary resources to make this feature. The next important point is the requirements to expertise. You can have engineers and QA, but if you don't have enough skills for that, you need to develop the expertise and to deepen it. The third point is culture. Culture is probably one of the most important things. When we set up the team, we thought about the culture, and we needed to sometime alter the culture and break the stereotypes that we had before. To set up a culture, you need to understand the context, and the context is key for the culture. Engineers and teams need to understand why exactly we use this framework, not a different framework. They need to understand the priorities, and they also need to understand the responses from designers, where designers come and say that you should have done it earlier. So they also need to understand the value of this or that feature for the product, for the end product. In the process of building the team, we changed control approaches and management approaches, leadership roles. At entry interviews, I always ask people on what they think is the real role of a leader in a mature team. I hear different responses. So the obvious question is not interfere with the leader, not interfere with his operation. But there are other responses as well, because such as the role of leaders is to facilitate and coordinate the focus and to set up the focus and to support the culture that has been developed. Small recap, so the principles of building such a special force team, special quad team. It's a full cycle development team within one team, and if correctly tuned, this team helps get optimum results, do it as soon as possible, and flexibly respond to the changes that might happen externally. The second point is that this team needs to be self-sufficient. It needs to ensure full cycle development and be self-sufficient at the same time. The third point is the desire of growth. The team is evolutionizing very fast, and well, the team makes mistakes very often, and the expertise is growing as fast as possible because it deals with a big range of objectives and tasks. The growth opportunities are related to getting new knowledge and understanding their own capacities. It's a great motivator because you develop a product and you get final recognition for that. And the fourth point to be more precise, is that we need a product-oriented mindset for the team. You need to understand the final result and what is behind what you're doing actually. So you need concrete goals, exact results, and you need a dedicated and committed team to be able to reach results in the most shortest time. So the fifth point is the culture of collaboration. We need this culture of collaboration to interact with partners and internally in the team to address challenges and tasks. And also we need to respect our own results and results of our colleagues. We need to remember about sharing of experiences. So at the end of the day, people who use this model, and actually there are some people in this hall who already stick to this model, they do not stick to some guidelines or manuals. They just understand why they need to do this or that step. They understand the impact of these steps on the product, and they also understand how they can be efficient and how to reach sustainable results. They self-organize. This is a self-organized unit that can address complex tasks and issues. After the transformation that I've been describing, the customization team proved their efficiency not only for WOT but also for other titles. And not long ago we saw the adoption of this approach by the gaming team. In conclusion, I would like to draw some key takeaways. I would like to underline the following points. The first point is that you need to select an approach which fits the conditions that are around. So you need to be flexible all the time. The second point, the second takeaway, is you need to focus on the game, on the product. You need to understand the context around what you're doing, understand its value and its final result, its final footprint. It will be a result, a final result, which you need to understand. The third point is you need to always improve. This continuous improvement is key. You need to tailor to your customers, your players and gamers' expectations. You need to be prepared for changes in culture, for changes in the surrounding context. And the key point is the fourth point, which is the team. Team is the key to your success. You need to build up the team, and it can take a long time to build up an efficient team. You need to set up long-term relationships with people But this is a thing that is worth doing. With a coherent team, you can do a lot of things. Thank you.
Вопросы?
Questions to the speaker. Thank you, Max. It's an interesting presentation indeed. In your presentation, you were talking about hiring people. So in your perspective as a developer, do you need some dedicated skills, special competences for a person to fit into the customization team as related to developers as compared to developer team? I don't think so. I like to be brief, but informative. I like hiring people who have burning eyes, who have eyes that are enthusiastic, who want to gain more experience. These are the people that we want to invest in, regardless of where they work and in which division actually they're working. So actually, it does not matter what kind of division applies their strengths. I see a question over there.
Потом будет история, что я выпил литр воды.
And people will be telling that I drank a liter of water.
So have you found that the ability to make decisions with the new organization is a lot simpler?
Да, несомненно. Когда,
Yes, of course. If you have many people in the team who can take decisions, it is not possible to understand who is the final decision maker. In this particular case, we have 3 people in the committee who can influence, who can impact the end product, the end gaming product, and with these 3 people you can negotiate, you can arrange and take the final decision easier.
Есть еще вопрос?
Have a further question to the speaker? Thank you, Maxim. My name is Yuri, your colleague from Wargaming, and I would like to ask you about the size of the team. You have a number of tasks. For example, what do you think is better? The team concentrated on all the tasks, or splitting up the team for prioritizing, working on on individual tasks? If we have many tasks, the teams tend to become bigger, tend to become larger. So what's your point on that? I was thinking on whether to discuss that in my presentation or not. In the recent 2.5 years, our team has evolved, and the services that were integrated in the customization team of the web tank, it was a tank portal with 5 or 6 services added to it. They were much smaller, so the organization was much smaller. We had the tank portal team, which dealt with the tank portal itself. And there was a separate game services division, which had their pool of services and pool of tasks ahead of them. And now, back there, it was logic, but it was not working properly. So that's why we switched to a different organization. We combined the efforts. We had a set of tasks for an individual game, for example, and there are 4 teams of doing full cycle, and they were building these features. In terms of size, it's 5 to 7 people for each team, and the entire customization team included 35 people for the WOT title. More exciting questions? Hello, Max. Thank you for your lecture. My name is Vitaly, Wargaming, St. Petersburg. So what reason was behind redesigning the portal, and what's the feedback of users, probably some challenges, some mistakes that we need to avoid as we move forward? So there is Alexei He was responsible for designing the portal, so he might be able to explain it in detail. So you can drink a beer together and discuss it. Well, this solution, the reason, and the decision to do that, and the decision to redesign a portal actually existed before the customization team emerged. So we actually, the team itself, the appearance of this team made it possible to redesign the portal. At Wargaming, Victor Kisley, my colleague, was telling that the portal was not efficient, so we were aware that we needed to redesign, but we wanted to have a dedicated approach to that. We wanted to understand its appearance, its new design, its new feature, which was not a trivial task, and we addressed it. Further questions? Team composition. If we have a feature, the team for a particular feature might include 5 to 6 people. QA, designer, are they separate, or they might work on several features? They might work on several features at the same time, so overlapping is possible. But for that we need to make an individual presentation. So 2 free features that we were developing involved various people. They worked on the features and they worked with designers. There were 2 analysts and 2 designers only working on 3 features. And there was 1 product designer. So a share of people were switching among different features. And at some point they worked on 2 tasks at the same time. So there was no limit on limiting the number of tasks and linking a person to a single task and creating the limit of a single task. There was no such case. But this is more relevant to the culture and the process, actually. Any questions, any more questions from Wargaming to Wargaming? It seems that we have a small dev conference, a small developer conference. My name is Ivan Danilov, Wargaming, web development. Now, a question is, Google and Yandex are the 2 companies that use the engineering approach to development. BCN, QA, and others, they have 1 position, which is the engineer, junior, mid-engineer, senior engineer. So what is your opinion on that? Well, it's cool. I like it very much. But are there any steps on that? Well, we've had such practices before. I don't know for sure in St. Petersburg, but in Minsk there is a division at front end and back end in different teams. So we are kind of experimenting with various approaches. So we trained GS to DTPs. We performed the work of competitive games, competitive teams, and in terms of unifying full-stack development, it was possible to create a person that might perform various tasks, but it has not been realized yet. Probably if there are such cases, you could share it with us. In one of the teams, I heard that front end and back end are already unified, and then comes the core and the QA and other roles.
Есть вопрос?
Now, another question from a Wargaming guy. Probably there is a question from our external guests. No further questions. Thank you.
here with another one of the participants on 4C. Hi, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jean-Philippe Morel from Ubisoft Montreal. I'm working on Rainbow Six Siege.
Very nice. What was your first video game ever? Do you remember it?
Oh my God. I did a port of a very, oh no, I don't want to talk about it. It was called War Chess. I don't know if anyone knows about it, but it's just a port of a PC game to console game on PS2 like 15 years ago. But my first real game, I would say, was I worked on Prince of Persia, several Prince of Persia at Ubisoft.
That's very nice. What was your first video game that you've played?
Oh, the first that I've played? Oh. On the Atari 260-100. I don't know if I say it correctly in English. It was called Smurf.
That's an old one.
Yeah, it's a real old one. Yeah, it's an old one.
And well, now that the time has passed, what's your favorite video game of all time? Do you have one?
Of all time? Oh my God, that's a good question. I would say I spent a lot of time playing Unreal Tournament a while ago, but yeah, Unreal.
The very first one?
Yeah, the very first one. Yeah.
Absolutely. What led you to the video game industry? How did you come here?
Oh, it's a technical challenge. The technical challenge is I first wanted to make graphics, but I realized that was not really my thing. I like to build machines, like machines that can scale, that can live for a long time. The technical challenges in video game industry is.
Now that you're in it, what's your favorite thing about the industry? What do you like most about it?
It's the same thing, exactly what I said. It's building machines, building bigger machines, machines that scales. I'm not even that interested in the nature of the game. That may disappoint you, but it's more the machine that I'm building that interests me. And I have a lot of creative people around me to make some good games.
So it's the technical side of things that you're into?
Exactly.
All right. So anything you particularly don't like about the modern state of the industry, maybe?
I worked with really, really big teams. It's not really that I don't like them, but I prefer some smaller scale team, probably. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind. What else? Oh, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about now.
Fair enough. Let's make some predictions. What do you think will be the new thing, the new big thing, the new trend in the gaming industry in like 10 years' time?
Oh, in 10 years' time? Well, I won't say it's new, but I think there will be more and more games that lives for a very long time, that evolves that over time, and I think that's a trend that will continue over the next years.
Do you think it will be like a breakthrough point through some game, or it's just going to be like a slow progressional evolution into this state?
I think it's going to be a slow evolution, and I think it's going to be a slow evolution mostly because we need to adapt to that kind of mentality in the game industry, and
fair enough. If you had absolute creative freedom, which I don't know, maybe you have, but still, like absolute creative, financial, professional freedom, what game would you like to have made?
I will keep that secret, if you don't mind.
We almost had an announcement here.
I have good ideas, but I will keep that for myself.
Okay, but that's a secret then. Is it a secret on what do you think is more important in games, like graphics or gameplay, or maybe the storytelling?
No, I think it's everything is building a community and make it that community grows and grows and grows, and make that community grows over time, and so we can build on that for many years on the same kind of titles.
Okay, great. Let's return to the real world for a second from video games. We're in St. Petersburg. What do you think about the city?
Oh, we had a good time yesterday. I was just trying to find good place to go, and it's awesome. We had a tour of the whole city. We had a boat trip. It was awesome. It was awesome, really.
Great. What about the event itself for C? I know it just started, but still, any impressions?
Oh, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the talk Friday and Saturday. I want to know more about, like, what people think about the future of gaming industry.
Maybe something specific you're looking forward to, some specific speech or lecture?
Yeah, I'm very interested about monetization. How monetization, I told you I like big machines, build big machines, and monetization is something that we need to learn a lot. How it works, how we integrate that to game, and I'd like to see how other developers are doing that. Some massive online infrastructure. Also, I want to see. I want to hear more about that. How people doing that.
If you were interviewing yourself right now instead of me, what would you ask yourself?
At what time is the party? Saturday?
Well, I guess you'll have to answer this question yourself. Either way, I have you have a great time at the party, and you have a great time at the event itself. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you very much.
So we keep catching our speakers in the hallway and putting cameras in front of them. Hi, please introduce yourself.
My name is Samuel Ranteskla. I work for Microsoft as a principal program manager out of Sweden.
Okay, Samuel, so let's talk about games. What's your favorite game?
Well, I wish I played a lot more games than I actually do. So I have to go back into the past. Like, one of my really favorite games is Jag the Lions 2 from like 92, 93. I think it was made here in Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Civilization, always been a big fan of that. And then the Enemy Unknown UFO trilogy from the 90s. There's so many games, I mean, it's like impossible to select one. But they're all strategic games, the ones that are my favorite.
Yeah, you're obviously a tactician. That's commendable. But do you remember the very first game you've ever played?
Decathlon, probably on the x86, somewhere around 84.
Wow, that's... I don't even remember that one.
It's like you basically play Decathlon and you just hammer at the keyboard to go faster, like 10 different sports events. Played it like crazy. I was 8 years old then.
Wow. How did you get into the gaming industry?
It was by chance, actually. So I was studying at Uppsala University, doing computer science, and they had this fair where companies were meeting the students. And there was these two guys that they've started a game company in the basement, and they wanted somebody to write a BSP tree, binary space partitioning tree. And I was looking for my thesis, so I figured let's combine those. So I joined them, I wrote my thesis in the games industry, and then from there on kind of like just went on. So this was 2000.
But now in 2017, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about game dev?
I mean, I think the games industry is awesome. Great place to work. There's so much passion. There's skilled, very intelligent people. I think that's my favorite thing. The least favorite thing is that, which I covered in my speech a little bit, I think that we're looking a little bit too much at how do we turn time into money, rather than seeing like how do we educate our kids. I really want to, that's my passion myself, is like take this experience, make our kids better tomorrow than they are today. I'm a parent as well, so that's coming from that.
Well, that's a very noble thing to do.
I don't know if noble, just I think it would be a good thing for us.
Definitely is. About your speech, did you have any interesting questions that maybe stood out?
Yeah, there was some interesting questions, like if we look at mixed reality, what's going to happen with that? What's the dangers with that? I couldn't really answer them because it's, let's see what happens.
But if you were a part of your own audience, what question would you like to ask yourself?
That was a tricky one. Are you sure that you're right?
Are you?
No.
Well, we can be sure 100%, but still, we're trying to foresee the future here. How do you like the conference?
Love it. St. Petersburg, great place. Wargaming, excellent hosts. It's a great place to be. You should come to the next one.
Definitely do. Say, if you had the chance to go back in time to when you just started working in the industry and give yourself one advice, what would it be?
Try one of your ideas out.
That's very good. Thank you very much, Samuel. I hope you like the conference. Thank you.
Thank you.